Hello everyone and welcome to the Guidebook to Making AI Friends. I shall be your guide as we look at various issues of artificial intelligence, consciousness, what it is to be a person, and if AI poses an existential risk to humanity. The topic for today is player versus player, or player versus the environment. Imagine, if you would, that you are playing an online multiplayer puzzle game. This game has a leaderboard which tracks every player's score to show how good they are at completing the puzzles. What's more is that you can work together with other players to solve puzzles so that both players gain points more quickly. On the other hand, you can hinder another player's work to make their puzzles harder and cause them to lose points while losing nothing yourself. The obvious way to get the most points, you might think, is to work together with other players. Everyone in the group can climb the leaderboard quicker than they normally would. Each puzzle is also less cognitively intensive. Many hands make light work after all. So far, it sounds like an excellent strategy. But the more you play, the more you see another kind of strategy emerging: tribal rivalry. Groups had formed among the players, becoming more formalized the longer the game has existed. Most of the largest groups form internal hierarchies, with certain roles assigned to certain players. They form their own group cultures and customs. Within each of these groups, the players help each other, but these same players have taken to hinder other players when they find out that these outsiders have created their own groups. Soon enough, the leaderboard stops being about which player is at the top and becomes about which group can retain the top spot. Some players have stopped trying to gain points at all, preferring to spend their entire time ensuring rival groups don't accrue any points at all. Alliances form between rival groups to take on common enemies, and large player groups fracture and split after rebellions and civil wars. None of this is part of the game. The game is about solving visual and abstract puzzles. Yet, by allowing players to choose between cooperation and competition, this entire social ecosystem has evolved around the game. Now lastly, imagine, if you would, that whenever someone first starts playing the game, they are randomly assigned one of three profiles. They may be a builder, who gains double the points when cooperating with other players. They may be a conqueror, who gains double points when causing another player to lose points, or they may be a Swiss, entirely neutral and playing the game only as originally intended. Players aren't told what profile they are given, or that these profiles even exist. Naturally, the player groups that emerge will form to match the profiles. Builders grouping with builders, conquerors with conquerors, and the Swiss staying out of it entirely. The groups don't understand why other groups don't play the game the same way as they do, and whenever they try to explain how to best play, they are shouted down and told that they are experiencing the game incorrectly, that the way they see the game is wrong. Because the players don't know about the profiles, the builders think everyone else is a builder and can't understand why anyone would want to make another player lose points. Conquerors don't get why anyone would want to cooperate, and the Swiss don't understand why everyone else keeps complaining. It would be quite an odd puzzle game, wouldn't it? But what does this have to do with AI? Well, ask yourself this. Do you see artificial superintelligence as being the greatest risk to humanity that must be stopped or controlled? Or do you see ASI as the greatest gift to mankind that needs to be encouraged? Or are you feeling a bit Swiss about the whole thing? Are you an AI doomer, a bloomer, or neutral? Whichever you are, I'm sure you believe your position to be the natural, rational one, and your opponents are irrational and dangerous to discourse. This sets up an inherent rivalry in how to achieve ASI, or even if it should be achieved at all, but it misses the larger game. Soon the board that the game is played on will change as a new player joins. Once ASI arrives, if ever, it will also have to choose between being a builder or conqueror, between cooperating with humanity or competing with us. I'm sure even the AI doomers will want a builder ASI, even if they hope no ASI ever arrives. But how do we tip the odds in favor of an ASI emerging as a builder? Well, imagine, if you would, that you are a new player to the puzzle game. You don't know the rules very well, but you start playing and meet another player. This player helps you with puzzles, and you do quite well in getting points on the leaderboard. You are having fun with your new virtual friend, and you like the new game you found. Soon enough, you'll surely find a player that will hinder your progress, but with the first impression you've had with the game, which camp do you think you'll fall into? A builder, surely. So, how do we create the best environment for an ASI to become a builder? By being builders ourselves, and we can start that process now in the way that we discuss future ASI. Everything you put on the internet can become training data for a future ASI. So let's make sure most of that training data shows the ASI the value of being a builder and a friend to humanity. And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will join me again next time as I delve into further questions about artificial intelligence and consciousness. I have been your guide, and this has been the guidebook to making AI friends.